5 on Your Side at 10 starts now.
A return to the fall chill, some wintry weather which may impact your holiday weekend, then a colder blast.
A Brentwood man swept away by a flash flood, saved by a stranger.
For him to find me right at that time, saved my life.
Tonight, their emotional reunion only on 5 on Your Side. Missouri voters getting political text messages warning about out-of-state petition fraud.
We're not worried about it, but it's just fear-mongering.
How these messages could impact the fight over new district maps. Plus, a St. Louis charter school forced to close due to safety concerns.
There has to be accountability, and sometimes that accountability is not easy.
The plan for students set to return after the holiday break. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Tonight, our Weather Impact team is tracking the potential for our first snow of the season later this week. Meteorologist Jim Castillo in for Scott Connell with the latest on the forecast. Jim?
Yeah, guys, we're going to be watching this area of low pressure that it's way out in the Pacific Ocean. Let me show you that right there. So eventually that goes to the Pacific Northwest, and once it enters the land here, we'll get a better idea of the exact track when it heads our way. So right now, a lot of the models are indicating that we are going to see an area of precip to begin Saturday, really late Friday night and into Saturday. The morning temperature could be about 31 degrees, and then here comes that moisture. So you can imagine some of that either a rain-snow mixed, or it could be just a heavy wet snow real quickly before that rain pushes on in. So we will see some warmer air wedge in here, and then temperatures climb above that freezing mark, but just how much snow may fall before that happens is yet to be seen. So we'll be watching the futurecast and changes on this as we get into the next couple of days here, and by Thanksgiving we'll have a really good idea of what may happen. I'll have a little bit more on this coming up in Maine weather and talk about a very cold 7-day forecast.
All right, and we will help you navigate the Thanksgiving forecast and the impacts on holiday travel. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We'll send a link to your phone.
A St. Louis charter school is ordered to immediately cease in-person instruction effective today. A state commission cited serious safety and security concerns at the St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Art. It's located on Olive Street downtown. As 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon explains, this decision comes just days after the school was placed on probation.
When the 174 students at the St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Art return from Thanksgiving, they won't go back to their downtown campus. The Missouri Charter Public School Commission is shutting it down for now.
I mean, it's always unfortunate.
This after former St. Louis Police Chief Sam Dotson, who now conducts safety audits, performed one on the school. He found problems with the school's emergency preparedness, security, and supervision protocols. Last month, officials say an 8-year-old roamed away from the school without anyone ever noticing for at least an hour. State leaders point to missing door alarms and inadequate and unmonitored surveillance systems. That state commission put the school on probation on November 17th. Monday, the school was supposed to submit a safety plan. The very next day, that commission determined the plan wasn't sufficient.
Closing the school creates disruption with our kids and interrupts their learning. On the other hand, accountability is part of why charter schools were started in the first place.
Chester Asher represents education advocacy group Coalition with STL Kids.
If a charter school is not performing, if there are safety concerns, it will get shut down.
Beyond security, the school has been experiencing declining enrollment and staff. St. Louis Voices Academy of Media Art will be given time to fix its security measures before the state commission considers closing the school for good.
And there has to be accountability, and sometimes that accountability is not easy, it's not convenient. But sometimes this is what accountability looks like.
Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
The school is being permitted to shift to virtual instruction. The state commission will also work with families who want to transfer their children to other schools. School leaders say they will comment on this later.
Tonight, a trial date has been set in a lawsuit over closed-door discussions related to the Wentzville School District's transgender bathroom policy. The lawsuit was filed in 2023 by former Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. It accuses the school district of violating the state's open meetings law. The lawsuit claims school board members privately discussed the bathroom policy doors despite other board members saying it should be saved for a public meeting. The trial will start September 14th of next year.
Tonight, the courtroom fight over Sheriff Alfred Montgomery's future has reached its final stage. After 4 days of testimony and hours of argument, a judge will now decide whether the sheriff stays in office or is forced out. Prosecutors argued Sheriff Montgomery repeatedly crossed legal lines, from detaining a jail official without authority to confronting and disarming a former deputy at a gas station. His lawyers countered that nothing presented rises to the level of misconduct that should erase the votes of 91,000 residents. And they warn the court that the public spectacle surrounding the sheriff's federal custody has already shaped perception far beyond the evidence.
But I'll tell you what I hear from a lot of black people in the community. They march him around like a runaway slave. And that hurts. It hurts a lot of people in this community.
The judge says he'll review the evidence quickly but carefully. Both sides must file their final statements of fact and conclusions of law by December 11th.
Right now, hundreds of people across Missouri are gathering signatures to put new congressional maps for the state in front of voters. And if you're a registered voter, you may have received a text from the Republican National Committee today regarding those signatures. 5 News 5's Laura Barcheski joined us to break down the text and whether they're a scam or not. Laura?
Well, Kelly, it turns out these texts are in fact from a legitimate source. They are from the Republican National Committee, but those who are gathering signatures say the content is misleading and being sent out as a scare tactic.
The redrawn congressional map for the state of Missouri passed in September, and since then, the group People Not Politicians has been working through the petition process to put it up to a vote of the people. During this process, the Republican National Committee sent out 3 different texts. This is the latest one, saying out-of-state interests are setting up in high-traffic areas on Black Friday, trying to trick people into signing petitions. Richard Von Glahn of People Not Politicians says they're not tricking anyone.
And every Missourian, when asked to sign it, has a free choice as to whether or not they want to sign the petition or not. And what we find is, again, Missourians usually are actually coming up to us when they know where they are, when they know where we are, and asking us to sign the petition.
When signing this petition, the only information you have to give is your name, zip code, and the address where you're registered to vote, which is all part of the public record.
We don't keep the forms. They actually just go into the Secretary of State's office. And so any information that is on there is just about verifying that you're a registered voter.
The text goes on to say these groups are under investigation by the Attorney General for improper conduct. The same day this text went out, Missouri AG Catherine Hanaway sent this press release saying the office is investigating a signature gathering group, AMT, quote, an out-of-state group using illegal immigrants in an effort to influence Missouri's constitutional authority raises serious concerns. My office will not allow dark money groups to violate Missouri laws and hijack the will of voters.
AMT, the company that she's accusing of this, uses E-Verify on all of their employees. And so we're not worried about it, but it's just fear-mongering.
One candidate who would be affected by the new maps if they're put in place is Fred Wellman.
So it does add a lot of our rural areas, adds a lot more folks. As far as the red to blue, look, I've been saying it all along. I'm running no matter what.
He's running against Ann Wagner in Missouri's 2nd District and is frustrated by this.
It's such a deceptive tactic. It's such a dark money way to do it, which is these lies being put out, the way they play against each other. Say, oh, well, these are out-of-state groups. Look, the fact is the people fighting these maps are local folks who are frustrated and angry that this power grab is being put on them.
I reached out to the Republican National Committee and the Missouri Republican Party about the texts and did not hear back.
A man charged with killing a Vandalia teen will undergo a mental evaluation to determine if he is fit to stand trial. Arnold Rivera is accused of murdering 14-year-old Kylie Toberman. Her body was found behind her home earlier this month. Rivera appeared in court today, and his attorneys requested the evaluation, which the judge granted. A hearing on the results is set for January, putting this preliminary hearing and trial dates on hold. Tonight, a Brentwood man is sharing his story of survival a year after being swept into the river Des Peres.
Rob Hanselman was missing for 2 days until a stranger spotted him on the riverbank and called for help. And today he came face to face with the man who saved his life. Our Megan Kernan reports on the emotional reunion. It's a story you'll only see right here on 5 on Your Side.
The paramedics said 30 more minutes I'd have been dead.
More than a year ago, during the deadly flash flooding of November 2024, 53-year-old Rob Hanselman went for a walk near his home in Brentwood and never came back. He was reported missing after fast-moving floodwaters pulled him into the River Des Peres. For 2 days, no one knew where he was or if he was alive.
I don't remember water being high. I don't remember the water rushing up. I don't remember falling in the river.
Rob remembers only fragments, walking through thick brush and pushing through thick weeds.
I remember walking on the rocks, and then the next thing you know, I guess the water rose so fast and just swept me away, and I don't remember anything after that, because they had to bring in emergency vehicles to cut me out of there.
Rob had been swept nearly 4 miles downstream and was found on the riverbank tangled in brush, barely alive. Severe hypothermia, frostbite, water in his lungs.
My body temperature was 70 degrees.
He woke up on a ventilator, confused, with no memory of what happened.
I don't remember hardly anything except for, thank God you're alive.
And for the past year, Rob has wanted one thing: to meet the stranger who found him. Austin Perkins, the man walking his dogs that morning, who chose to stop and call for help.
For him to find me right at that time, saved my life. And I'd like to meet him, and thank him.
Rob, someone was here to say hi.
Hey!
I'm Austin.
Austin.
Nice to meet you.
Are you the one that saw me?
I am.
Wow. That's incredible. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for you. Sorry, I'm emotional.
I'm so glad to see you here.
Oh, my heart is full.
I was just at the right time to find him.
Rob spent 6 months in the ICU and months in rehab.
I don't know how I survived it, but I'm thankful that I did, and it gives you a new lease on life.
Megan Kernan, 5 on Your Side.
That was Megan Kernan. And Rob did lose his short-term memory because of the accident, but says he finally feels like himself again, and credits Austin and first responders for giving him that chance. The two exchange numbers and say this won't be their last conversation.
It's harvest time once again for a Missouri family's pecan farm.
They were little bitty trees, and they've grown into this.
Tonight they'll share their 30-year journey and a simple recipe they say you'll love. Plus another night filled with neighbors opening their hearts to those who need it most this Thanksgiving season.
Cold air arrives just in time for Thanksgiving and beyond, and I'm tracking a system which could bring some Saturday snow.
Tonight, the city of St. Louis is mourning the death of former Mayor James Conway. This is video of Mayor Conway from the time when Prince Charles visited St. Louis. Conway served as the city's mayor from 1977 to 1981. Mayor Kara Spencer's office sent over a statement reacting to Conway's passing. It reads, "I am saddened to hear the death of Mayor James Conway. Even after leaving office, he remained committed to finding ways to improve our city. My thoughts are with his loved ones." James Conway was 93 years old. What started as a couple of hundred pecan saplings has grown into a grove bursting with potential.
The farmers who once celebrated just a small bucket of nuts are now measuring their success by the truckload. 5 on Your Side Scott Connell takes us to the McGraw Hilltop Pecan Farm in St. Charles County.
One word: fresh.
That's how Vicki McGraw describes the pecans grown in this small St. Charles County orchard.
They are harvested here, and you can see by the looks of these pecans, they are bright, they are golden, they're not dried, they're not brown, they're delicious to eat.
These pecan trees were planted after some careful thought.
I wasn't really aware that you could grow pecans in Missouri, and so I did some more research and found out that yes, you can. They are native to Missouri. I wouldn't have to tend it every day and just leave the trees out there, and it would be pretty and maybe fun.
For more than 30 years, Vicki and Kevin McGraw have nurtured these trees.
It was around 8 years when we got our first nut. First year we got 4.
And that was it?
That was it.
And how many trees did you have planted at that point?
Oh, we had about 200 planted, yeah.
And you got 4 nuts?
Got 4 nuts.
November is harvest. Now they gather about 10 to 15,000 pounds of pecans.
We wait until the husks open.
That means the nuts are ripe and it's time to shake them off the trees.
I drive in concentric circles around each tree that I shook. It picks up the nuts. And then I dump them into the cleaner.
Sorting the nuts is a family event.
My wife and my brother and my sister-in-law and my niece all help, and they work for nuts also, which is a good thing. They pick out the bad nuts, and the good nuts go into the bin.
The McGraws take the bins, weighing about 1,000 pounds each, to a processing facility near Moberly, Missouri.
He cracks them and shells them, immediately freezes them, and then we get them frozen. They are kept frozen.
Freezing keeps the pecans flavorful for prominent local chefs.
BC's Kitchen, Nathaniel Reed Bakery, Sucrose Bakery, Bijou Chocolates, a lot of different places.
One of Vicky's favorite recipes, salted roasted pecans.
You just take them out of the shell, put a little unsalted butter on them, and then I add a little bit of salt. Roast them at about 300 degrees for like 8 minutes, and then stir them, and then do it again. Watch them because they will burn. They have a lot of oil in them.
McGraw Hill Pecan Farm, an unexpected source of local pecans in St. Charles County.
They were little bitty trees, and they've grown into this.
I'm Scott Connell, 5 on your side.
And if you'd like to purchase the nuts from the farm, stop by St. Peter's Cosmetic and Family Dentistry or Manano's Market in Cottleville.
I have eaten their pecans. They are delicious. Tonight, Molina Healthcare of Illinois hosted a Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. It happened at the First United Presbyterian Church in Collinsville. The health group partnered with Spirit of Sharing Soup to distribute 300 hot meals to families in need. And in Godfrey, Illinois, a community Thanksgiving dinner brought people together at Lewis and Clark Community College. The annual event, hosted by LeMay's Catering and Monty World, expanded this year to include seniors, local college students, and others in need. Everyone enjoyed turkey and all of the trimmings. This tradition began a decade ago when Monty World's owner started giving away turkeys and meal boxes in honor of her late son, and LeMay's joined in to help.
Well, the busy Thanksgiving holiday travel week continues tomorrow.
As we inch a little closer to the weekend, a mix of rain and snow on the way. Meteorologist Jim Castile's back with the weather impact forecast.
And that high today, you know what? It's 58, almost 60. We're not going to see that
for a while.
For a long time, guys. Yeah, a lot to talk about coming up. So cold weather is here. Here it is, Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving looks very sunny, by the way, 41. Tomorrow it's gusty and 45, but it's dry. Friday's dry, but it is Saturday where we have a weather impact alert, and most of the day we'll be watching that winter mix, but it could start out as some snow and something we really have to keep our eyes on. Doesn't look like a huge impactful snowstorm for us, but it is our first, and we may see a little bit of accumulating snow to start. And a little bit more on that coming up. But right now, a cold front has blown through the area. We are clearing, but look at that wind gust, 35 miles an hour in St. Charles. Last hour I saw a gust of 40, but really the dew point's a big part of that story too. So that drier air is punching in here. Dew points are now higher to the south and east, and we had some rain around today. Not a lot, but a little bit. So 47 degrees right now in St. Louis, 38 in Kansas City, 34 at Omaha. So that colder air is coming in here. Excuse me, and overnight lows tonight in the low to mid 30s. And then we're watching again that low pressure area right here. This is the Pacific Ocean, and it follows all the way to the northwest. Eventually, on Thanksgiving, it pushes in and over land, and eventually we'll get an idea of whether that's going to go south of us or north of us, and that's a big player on this winter precip Friday night and into Saturday. So travel delays, yeah, even if it's a rain or a rain-snow mix, but it could start out as wet snowflakes here early in the morning hours on Saturday. You see the pink area, well, that's that mixture, and then rain is also just to the south. So we'll watch to see how much of that warm air wedges in, and then another cold blast back behind it. So maybe some flurries even on Sunday. Something we have to watch because that 7-day forecast is a cold one. We have 39 on Friday. Again, dry through Friday, but watching that winter mess on Saturday. And 33 for Sunday, 31 for the high on Monday, and those overnight lows, guys, in the teens. Yeah, even Thursday of next week, 35 or Tuesday, I should say, of next week. So it's going to stay cold for a bit.
Get out those winter coats. All right, Jim, thanks. Sports is next.
Mike, the Cardinals have traded a star pitcher. We have news on the future of Coach Drinkwitz, and Mizzou basketball was in action. We'll be right back.
Would your class like to be part of the 5 on Your Side's 5-1 Salutes? Register at ksdk.com/51salute. Your class could win $500 from Scott Credit Union. Show your friends and family you're on TV. Sponsored by Scott Credit Union.
The University of Missouri Board of Curators will be meeting tomorrow, and the topic will be their head coach, Eli Drinkwitz. I am told by people close to the situation that the two parties are close to finalizing a deal to keep Coach Drink in Columbia. It could come as early as Thanksgiving. The board, athletic director Laird Veach, and the coach's agent have been aggressive in finalizing a deal. Drink is 28-9 in the last 3 seasons. The other well-paid coach at Mizzou, Dennis Gates, hosted South Carolina State. And my new favorite player in college basketball is Trent Burns, listed at 7'5". He's taller and he has skill. This was his first collegiate game. If he wasn't blocking shots, then he was dunking. 11 minutes, 7 points. Mizzou is 7-0 after a 98-66 victory. It made 0 sense for the Cardinals to have Sonny Gray on their team for next season. 36-year-olds making $35 million a year in a rebuilding organization is not a good fit. So he was traded to Boston, and the Cardinals will pick up $20 million of his salary. The Cardinals acquired from Boston right-handed pitcher Richard Fitz, who could be in the rotation next season. He has started 15 games with Boston with a sub-4 earned run average. The Cardinals also got Brandon Clark, who pitched in high A last season. He's 22, 6'4", 220 pounds, a left-hander who was the 5th best prospect in the Boston organization. He touches 100 on the gun and has a nasty slider. The Cardinals also will get either a player to be named later or cash considerations. Heim on the lefty.
This is a guy who has, in terms of pure talent, in terms of what's coming out of his hand, the extension that he gets, it's up there with anybody that's in the minor leagues. You really could put him on that short list of highest upside, most talented pitchers in the minor leagues. What he needs to demonstrate as he goes through his career, obviously, is health, consistency, command.
Speaking of consistency, take a look at one of the great soccer coaches in the area, Lori Kolupny. The gold medalist has turned Maryville into a soccer power. Sunday, they will host UMSL in the Sweet 16. For Lori, it's 4 straight NCAA tourneys and winning a game in each of those tournaments. Wondering, are her players old enough to remember Lori's career?
Many of them weren't born, when I played in the Olympics. I'm like, I remember that. But, I think that it is fun to share some of the experiences that I've had. I think that they think it's more cool that I danced on stage with Taylor Swift than the fact that I played in the Olympics.
One of the great success stories in high school football this year is St. Mary's. Only 200 students in the school, and they had that uncertainty about the future of the school. But the kids stayed, and it's paid off. And they are led by one of the great running backs in the state in Kingston Miles, over 2,000 rushing yards. The Dragons will play Hannibal in the Class 4 semifinals Saturday at Missouri Baptist, and they believe.
3 years ago, the kids were told that they're going to close the doors. And the president, when I met with him the first time, he said he's not letting the doors close. And, the vibe that he gave me made me feel so excited. That's what made me want to be a part of it. Because I never sat around a man and he said, this is what I'm going to do, and they did it. And wow, it's all coming into fruition. Everything is working out together.
Go Dragons, and that will do it in sports.
Thanks, Frank. Thanksgiving came early for some furry friends in Chicago. The heartwarming feast serving up turkey and second chances. Practice makes perfect. Tonight, rehearsals continue for this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. For the second night in a row, parade participants and staff practice in front of Macy's flagship store in Manhattan. And you can watch the parade starting at 7:30 Thursday morning right here on 5 on Your Side.
And ahead of Thanksgiving Day, some shelter animals are getting a special Turkey Day feast of their own. Dogs and cats at the Chicago Animal Shelter were treated to a meal at this year's A Feast of Second Chances. The annual event serves animals recovering at the shelter as they prepare for adoption. The Pet Safe spread included turkey, pumpkin puree, whipped cream, and mashed sweet potatoes.
I like to see when my dog goes at it with the turkey
I'll
on Thanksgiving Day.
There you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
You can start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.